is the one buying the place. It's a white. Okay. Oh. And a Portuguese. An English. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Might have Queen Sheba in here. Malcolm, you see Malcolm?
Go.
Amen.
Oh, I love the energy. My name is Kofi. Born on Friday, and Fridays are always the best. Yes, and I'm going to be your side guide. But before we start with the tour, there are a few things that will let us know as Africans before we start with the tour. For me, Kofi, I always say our ancestors were not able to survive all this because they were brave or because they were stronger. For me, I always believe that there was this spirit that was with us, and this spirit was so special, and this spirit kept us moving even when we thought we couldn't continue again. So in everything that we do as Africans, we should always remember to add the spiritual aspect of it, because that makes us who we are. Now you realize when you were coming through the gate was very short for those of us who are a little bit taller. So when you were coming from the gate, you came through the gate like this. It is very symbolic. You have already paid your respect to the grounds without you even knowing, because you entered like this and you paid the respect to our two great ancestors. Now when you come in here, the first rituals that we do before we start with the tour, it is the pouring of libation. Libation is a form of African prayers that we do by pouring rum on the grounds. The whole education in the pouring of libation is basically simple. In the pouring of libation, we acknowledge the Trinity as well. We acknowledge God the Father, we acknowledge the spirits, but the difference is we don't acknowledge the Son, we acknowledge the children. Because we believe that it is not only one person that saves this world. We have a lot of our brothers and sisters who have fought for us. And it will be very, very wrong for us not to appreciate them whenever we gather as Africans. So if you don't mind, before we start with the tour, I'll be calling one of my colleagues so that he will lead us in prayer. So I will ask our ancestors and the gods of the land to protect you, so that everything that you brought in this country should be of a success. So I'll be calling him for us to say the prayer before I start with the tour. So if you don't mind, I'm about to call him. Obolo.
And I'm more with the more crab or two, and I from freedom factors. I'm moving more with the more crab. Nayasam Chiara Yakanyande, Coffee Wabinana, and an animal, a mobaba kaim. Yabay Musube, send ye, and I'm Emperor. Mumbo Mohobai, baby Biara on Paso Mupano, Ghana, Hebiara. Set ye at a full base of Mohode, eh, Nana, open. The air bomb within a bomb within a mumbra, Mabuay. The essence of Pacific Besibio. Maybe you. No more, move around Moko before, and be your Moko Biara, will you merge number 4? Now, send me around to 1 hour for back. Let's only between the comments as well, Master of Badamasi. Yadamasi. Somewhere here and there every Yadamasi. Mishnah, we are never sad yet. You are my Duma. On be on my volume, on my point to be a Madamasi. Amen.
Amen.
So basically, boss, I'll allow my senior colleague to tell you what
Thank you.
the man said. Yes.
He basically said, first, he gave thanks unto the Almighty God. That is a Tradian Pong. He's the Almighty God. We in Accra, we say Ata Nanyo, meaning a male and a female God. And then he called the other deities, the people who lost their lives, the people who fought, all the freedom fighters, everything that made it possible for you to be on the soil today. He asks for God's blessing, and then he asks that everything, every desire of yours should come into fruition. Everything you come here to do should be successful. And as you go, you carry the message. The deities and the gods should be with you, guide your family, take you safely back, and then make sure you come back to your roots. So basically, that was the prayer.
Amen.
Amen.
So after the prayer, that I think I now have the chance. Manso slave river site that we are today was the biggest slave market during the transatlantic slave trade era. It was documented by one British historian in the person of W.E. Ward in his book entitled The Short History of Ghana. The Short History of Ghana. Although there were some slave markets, like the Piccolo slave market at the Upper East region of Ghana, Salaga market at the northern part of Ghana, Ketekachi market and other markets as well, but Asin Manso slave market here in the central region of Ghana and the Salaga market at the northern part of Ghana played a major role during the trade. Enslaved Africans that were captured from the upper borders of Ghana, like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and some parts of Nigeria, they were first made to march in chains and shackles, barefooted and half naked, to the Salaga market at the north. So it was in the Salaga market that they were given the first opportunity to rest, just for a few minutes and days, and again, they were made to walk from Salaga to Asin Manso in chains and shackles, which was 300 miles by foot. So during that era, because they were marching through the forest part of the country, a lot of our brothers and sisters were exposed to many dangers while marching them from the north down to Asin Manso. Some of them were bitten by snakes, others were attacked by wild animals, others suffered punishment and cruelty from the slave raiders. So according to oral history, a lot of our brothers and sisters who are making the journey from Salaga to Asin Manso lost their lives. One of their greatest challenges was crossing the Pra River. I guess you saw it on the way. Basically, it was the survivor and the fittest. So when they got to the river, those of our brothers and sisters who were weak and couldn't continue the journey, we were brought out of our chains and shackles and were dumped in that river to die. Now in 2005, other diasporans and the government of Ghana, financed by the government of Holland, embarked on the project called the Slave Route Project. The what? Slave Route Project. All that we wanted to identify was the path that our brothers and sisters used while marching us from the north down to the castle. And one of the places that was identified in the research was the Mole National Park. Mole National Park is one of our wildlife reserves at the northern part of Ghana. So currently when you go to Mole, you're going to see the lions, the elephants, and all these wild animals. So just put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, how will you be able to survive walking through this thick forest? So according to our history, when they were coming, most of these animals were feeding on some of the captives. But the raiders have a way of pushing the animals back so that they don't attack the few captives. And do you know what they did?
What? What did they do?
They
When they were
sacrificed.
walking,
They
And
sacrifice.
they found out that 2 or 3 of our brothers and sisters were weak and couldn't continue
Yeah,
the
they
journey.
sacrifice too.
They weren't killed instantly, but rather
Tied.
they were brought out of their chains and shackles and were tied around any big tree they found in the forest, left behind to perish. So they used them as bait
It's bait, yeah.
to negotiate their way through the forest to Asen Manso. So when we landed here at Asen Manso, this was the place that we were sorted out according to age and sex. And in determining our ages, a device called the speculum oris is put into our mouth, open our mouth, count our teeth, thereby forecasting our ages. After which we were made to take our last bath here before being made to march to the People's Castle, which was 35 miles from here, because that was where the slave ship was being docked. During that era, as you all know, wherever you were captured, it was a march of no return. You're going back, you're going from your route and never coming back. So when you're taken through the dungeons of the castle, there is this door with the inscription, the door of no return. So when you pass through that door, it is goodbye to your route. I quickly realized the door of no return, that words on that door is something that we Africans have to be conscious of, because they are not just words, they go beyond that. Because with the door of no return, it is believed that we're never going to come back to tell the story as it is. It has happened before. That is why in the plantations, they made us go through all these inhuman acts so that we cannot survive it. But still, the Spirit was with us, and the Spirit kept pushing us. They thought our culture and traditions as Africans will be clean forever. Yes, they've done it to us before in the US of A in the 1870s or was when they told you to drop everything natural of you and embrace everything about them. They've done it before. They wanted to eliminate the African race from their setting. It is happening now, but they've done it before. In Argentina, systematically they took the black race out of their community. But today, you and I, we are conscious enough to know where we are coming from. We are conscious enough to know our ancestors, to know ourselves, and to know the journey that we're making. So there is a need for us to change that perception, that writing on the walls of the castle, from the door of no return that favors others, and the door of return which favors us. Because now I have my brothers and sisters coming back to their roots as at when they love to return. But the question is, how do we change that writings on the walls from the door of no return to the door of return? That is why, as you can see in our ancestral graveyard, we have the mortal remains of our 2 great ancestors, Madam Krista from Kingston, Jamaica, and Samuel Carson from New York, US of A. Madam Krista was a young lady who was captured into slavery, but because she was a lady, she couldn't bear seeing people maltreated. She couldn't bear people taking their own lives. The atrocities that were meted on others was so much for this lady to contain. So in a way, she decided to rebel against the act by starving herself to death. But during that era, whenever you do that, there's a
force feed
punishment
you.
which is meted on you to serve as a deterrent from your other captives from doing the same.
Deterrent, yeah.
They chisel your teeth and they force you to feed.
Yeah,
It's called a
force feed, yeah.
This and other punishments Madam Krista have to go through. But because she was fighting for us, she never took in anything until she lost her life. At the far end, Samuel Carson, the first African American to rise to the highest rank in the US Navy. He died at the age of 35 years. When you want to know more about Samuel Carson, you can watch this movie, Men of Honor, and you know more about Samuel Carson. He died at the age of 35 years, but he wasn't given a befitting burial. So not until 1998, nobody was allowed to go through this path. It was only the chief and the priest, because it was so sacred a place that all our rituals in this community were performed there. So in 1998, when this facility was opened for the general public, that was when these 2 of our great ancestors consulted our Ministry of Tourism and told them about the wish of their great grandparents. That it was in their wish that they needed to be buried right on their ancestral route. So in collaboration with the 2 families and our Ministry of Tourism, their mortal remains was flown in from Jamaica and US to the Kotoka International Airport. And the journey from Accra to Cape Coast was one journey that I would always remember. It was a beautiful journey. When we were coming, we were having all our brothers and sisters in the diaspora represented. Caribbean, Haiti, Barbados, everybody represented. And everybody, the bus was almost like 500 buses escorting Madam Krista and Samuel Kazim from the airport, Accra International Airport, all the way to the Cape Coast Castle. So we got to a place called Abanze. Abanze is very close to the Cape Coast Castle, very close to Cape Coast. So when they got to Abanze, we realized the road has been blocked by the youth of Abanze. So they don't want our ancestors to pass through the land. So because we were having all the military personnel at our side, we just ordered them out to just disperse the crowd so that our ancestors will pass. The military men were successful to open up the road, but something happened. When the driver went in the car and sparked the car, it wasn't. Then we called for the big men to come and support us by pushing so that we can spark. Pushing the car was stuck, the car wasn't moving. That is where we knew there was something happening. So the ministers have to concede defeat and ask the youth, why is this happening? Then the youth said, for us, we don't know why this is happening, but we can consult the priest. So if you don't mind, let's go and call the priest so that the priest will tell us what he is seeing in the spirit. So the priest came over, and what the priest said was, our ancestors are not excited because we are not here to change their history. They were shipped across the Atlantic Ocean, so when they are coming back, they have to use the same Atlantic Ocean. So the people of Abanze, all the fishermen of Abanze, brought out their big canoes, one for these two mortal remains of our ancestors, and the 52 fishermen escorted these two of our ancestors on the Atlantic Ocean. So immediately they landed on the sea, making the journey. That was when the driver was able to spark the car. And so all the group moved by road, but these two of our great ancestors were shipped across the Atlantic Ocean to the Cape Coast Castle, passing through all the mediums and channels and coming out of the door of no return to change it to the door of return on the 31st day of July, 1998. The following day, they were brought here at Asin Manso. Asin basically is a tree word which means travelers or people that are just passing through. So oral history has it again that a lot of us from this community were some of the captives who managed to escape. But because we didn't know how to return to where we were captured, we formed part of this community. So when these two of our ancestors landed here, everybody in the community was made to wear black and red to mourn our ancestors. On the 31st night, we had a vigil for them. And the following day, which was the 1st of August, these two of our great ancestors were buried here. So every 1st of August is when Ghana as a nation, we decided to celebrate our Emancipation Festival. You just missed Emancipation by maybe 7 to 10 days. And this year Emancipation is a destiny year because we are celebrating 400 years of African resilience. This is not only the mortal remains of only Madam Krista and Samuel Kazim. We have a whole lot of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora coming over to sprinkle their ashes on this ground. So to go to this ground to take a picture, you can go in with your shoes on. Now I'll be taking you to one beautiful plant, which is called the mimosa plant. This time in Africa, it is not a drink. It is, yes, it is a plant which has some indigenous knowledge to share. That plant played a role in our history as Africans during the era of slavery. So I'm going to take you to that plant and I'm going to illustrate how it played a part during the era of slavery. So if you don't mind, I'm going to plant somewhere or the other. But just that we don't even know why this plant is with us, following us wherever we go as Africans. You see?
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, Shema lady. Yeah, Shema lady, yes. You see, during the era of slavery, right, the perception and the propaganda out there. So get that question. And have you ever had answers to it? Okay, that is why you meet Kofi. That's why she told you I'm the best. The whole thing is basically like this. How can I defeat you if I don't have much information about you?